Alright, I will be back momentarily. Alright, I'm back. I think, we'll see. Oh, I need my mouse, wherever that may have gone. I think it's in my bag. We shall see. Aha, it is. Fantastic. So now we can officially begin progress on this masterpiece. I just got to figure out exactly where I'm going to put everything, like my mouse and arms and legs, but this is what we're working on today, so should be quite a challenge, least to say, but it should be relatively simple, hopefully. If not, then oh boy. So for this rounded grip, it's going to be pretty simple to do a rounded grip. This is probably going to be like 3 and then quite some length here and then just like a 1. So it should be pretty easy. For this model, this is going to be a scaled down version of this from what its source material is, for reasons that are obvious if you're a true weeaboo fanatic, or if you just have any type of taste in anime at all. You'll know that this is huge from the anime that this is particularly in, and we're going to have to scale it down quite a bit for more of like a human hand type thing. So, Sick, if you're still here, I'd actually would really like to know how long like a standard bayonet is for military use, because I don't know in particular. I don't have one. Maybe you do. If you don't worry about it. But I do need to know how long a basic bayonet is, because we're going to try to scale it according to that. So there's going to be quite a bit of detail going on here, is the goal anyhow. I don't know if we're going to succeed in that because of the blade and stuff. Ooh, Dylan Genove. That is correct. Neon Genesis Evangelion. One of my favorite animes of all time. It is a massive, massive classic to pretty much anyone who watches anime has probably seen Neon Genesis Evangelion at least once, because it's such a classic. Like, it's kind of like if I had like a list of anime that people needed to watch before they died or something like that, one of them would definitely be Neon Genesis Evangelion, simply because it's a classic. You have to watch all the classics. This guard right here kind of sticks out just a little bit more than what is normally here, so we'll just add just a little bit more to this to finish it off. Neon Genesis Evangelion would definitely be one of the classics that I put on there for someone to watch. Cowboy Bebop being definitely one of my other ones that I would have someone go back and watch, as it's also a definitive classic and just absolutely worthy of pretty much like anyone's time at this point. I don't know if I read up a little bit on this before making this. I don't know if I call it superheated. I know that on the like fan wiki, basically, so obviously credits could be different. It supposedly just vibrates really fast at a specific frequency that helps it cut through things. in the same type of vein that vibroblades work from Star Wars, which is kind of unique, considering I think Star Wars came out first, but I think vibroblades came out in the expanded universe after the original airing, so it's kind of interesting. I've also read, though, that this type of technology is pretty common in science fiction because I guess it has better cutting skills than other science fiction things. I'm not entirely sure, but good enough, I guess. So what I was going to do here originally was just inset circle pieces, but that would leave kind of like a square outline around them. So instead, because I have this huge flat face here, I'm thinking that I'm going to use art pieces turned on its side to accomplish that as we go. So we're going to start at the end down here, I think. Oh yeah, Evangelion is just, like I said before, it's just such a classic on so many levels that if you're trying to get into anime or you're watching anime in some way, shape, or form, you really need to watch Evangelion. There's like almost, excuse me, I got burp in my mouth just a little bit. There's no excuses basically to not watch it because it's just a fantastic series almost entirely. Obviously towards the end people have differing opinions, but for the most part, fantastic show. I really did enjoy it. I've watched it 3 times now. Well, let me rephrase. I'm on my 3rd watch through of it now, which is what brought me around to actually doing this currently, because now this is a little far away from this blue, but we'll have to live with it because of the attachment points and everything going on here. This is my 3rd watch through of it. Absolutely loving it, obviously. It's just one of those shows that almost never dies in some way, shape, or form, right? In a kind of weird way. It's always around. Sorry about that. If you heard that, that's probably really loud. That was my phone vibrating. I apologize. End of Evangelion was the best, to be honest. I think a lot of people are turned off by it because that might have been not the way that they thought it was going to end. Maybe. Not really sure. A lot of people I know, critics and stuff, were, I don't want to say complaining, but basically complaining about the end of it. So this is actually going to change how long this is for me personally because of the spacing here. So it looks like there's a 2 gap and then another one, but obviously we'll have to extend this out just a little bit more. Again, definitely scaling this down from giant robots using them to not giant robots using them. So I'm making this more to the head. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm making this more for human use in real life. So if you were to ever want to make this possible, you could definitely do it. Obviously not in the gunmetal color that I'm using, but a different one. You would definitely be able to do so. Really relate to the hedgehog's dilemma. Me personally, not really. I don't. That's just me. Obviously other people do, like yourself. But it's just one of those animes where so much of a lot of scenes don't rely on dialogue to kind of set the mood or the tone for something, right? Like just to be able to say something without saying anything is incredibly impressive for a lot of different shows, and this is just one of those ones that gets it right pretty easily. They really don't have to use dialogue in a lot of the show, like the visuals, the way that it's been storyboarded and drawn up. They speak a lot. without saying anything, which is super impressive and super difficult to do in a lot of different mediums. So to see it so well executed in Neon Genesis Evangelion, sorry, sometimes that name is just super long. We're just going to call it Evangelion. It's incredibly wonderful to see that. Should also point out that there are different versions of this knife in universe. As far as I know, this is the most basic one, because there are other ones that are designed for the other EVAs in the show. So, like I said, hopefully I'm doing this correctly and not incorrectly, and that this is actually the one that it's supposed to be, because if it's not, then this is awkward to be sitting here trying to build. For this section here, obviously it needs to be red, and I did want it to stick out just a little bit further, because there's a slight line here but not too much of one, so I just wanted it to stick out like a plate more, but I don't know if we can do that or not. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. This next one would go here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So this would get deleted out and replaced with the other one. But we can't really do that because this is a specifically designed piece. So for now, this is what we'll have to accept. It'll just be flush. That's not too big of a deal. It is what it is. Go back to a normal 3. This is obviously a super simple knife. It's not something incredibly difficult to do. So not too concerned about this. Though, dang, I wish they made these ones without the ledge on it so that we could get this to be 3 studs wide. I would really appreciate it if it was 3 studs wide. Just a little bit more, because this isn't too thick. Alright, so if we wanted to go 3 studs wide, we could potentially by... Sorry if you guys heard that vibrating again. If we delete some of this out, so if we cut it completely in half, if we take this and go to a 4 instead of being a 3, so it's slightly longer, but I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal. This is more of a 3, but the 4 is not too bad if we get like a 3 grip out of it, because the 3 grip is going to look a lot better. Let me switch to doing a 3 going down, so, followed by 4. So now we can do the other side like this. Oh, and then to get this to stick out just a little bit, we can convert from doing 3 studs down here to 4 studs. So if we just go ahead and delete this out, and then figure out what we're going to do here to keep this all together, we'll figure that out later at this point. What am I doing? 1 by 4. And then this. There we go. Alright, so now we can duplicate all of this and simply put it 1 stud away right here. Should all match up perfectly. Good, good. And then because we switched to using the 4s, now we can use these, and it will all match up, hopefully. Because if it doesn't, then this is going to be awkward for everyone involved. Ooh, except down here. So what we'll do is kind of make it look like there's a little bit of curve down here using a cheese slope instead, which is obviously it's not going to match up perfectly, but it should relatively feel close enough. And then the picture side, the money shot, if you will, is going to be from this end instead of on this side. So I'm bummed out about that slightly, but not too overly hurt about it. So if we go ahead and set that in there and go ahead and switch to a metallic to then do the rest of these, we should be fine. Just like so. Alright, that's the top side going down this way. So for the bottom side, you can see down here, based off of this cross-section image, that it's almost the same curve as the top. The problem being it's already relatively tall compared to everything because we're using the inset pieces for this. So I'm going to try to keep it relatively short compared to everything else. So the only way to really do that is to change how we're setting all of this up, which involves doing some plate building techniques. So if we just hide out everything up here for a little bit, just so we can get in here and play around, get everything set up exactly where we need it to now. And then, like I said, at the end down here, we can actually switch from doing a 3 wide into a 4 wide to get that slight little bit of edge going on down there. So it'll look pretty good. I actually need to switch this over to a 2, so that slides in there. Perfect. Just like so. Go ahead and paint this blue as it should be. And then down here we'll go ahead and get ready to put the cheese slopes on. Oops, it's definitely the wrong side. So just like so. And what we'll do is copy this. Dang it. Command C, Control V, select it all, paint it in the metallic titanium, select it all again, Control C, and then put it back in place where it goes. My leg itches, sorry. So Control V, all of these into place, except for, of course, down here at the end because it's got to be difficult. Alright, so that is, for the most part, the blade handle. Let's go ahead and we'll fill in down here at the end to close it off so it looks appropriate. Doesn't look weird just kind of being out here. And then on the inside here, we need to definitely figure out where exactly our internal pieces need to go to match up to these holes. And I think potentially the best way to do that is to drop it coming down from the top. Oh, this is a 3, not a 4, my bad. So that goes there. And then potentially we put, okay, what am I doing? This here. And then maybe with 4 knobs will fit here, and then a black, okay, one of these will fit there, yeah, alright, so that's perfect. So now, to get that little bit of inset, all we need to do is put that there, put this here, and that's perfect. I'll work on both sides, just like so. And that should just be that piece deleted out, this piece deleted out, that piece and that piece. Hide this just so we have access to the inside. Multi-select. Command C. Command V. Boom, everything fits in the place where it should be. Now we just need to go through and fix up those little gaps that are going on. Pretty simple. I do not speak Spanish, unfortunately. So, I do not know what you are saying. Boom. I like a lot better with the 3 stud, because it just looks way better, obviously. So now we need to do the guard, which is pretty simple. Not a whole lot going on there. We need to transition from doing 3 studs down into doing 4 studs. To do that, 2 of these on right here, and then grab a red 2x4, and it will slide in right here in between this, no problem. So for the top, it rounds over just the same. So we need to figure out how we're going to do that. Oh, I'm sorry for shaking you guys all over the place. I really wish they made these, but in the smaller size. It's only like 1 thick. Ooh, there is a really nice piece in here that's a curve. This right here, obviously though, it's got the window piece in it. It's not going to look correct, but that would be a really nice piece to use. Can we get away with maybe this? Ooh. Yeah, that's not bad. So that should line up there. So let's try to get that into place like so. I really wish they made these in half sections, but they don't, fortunately. They make the bigger ones in half sections, but not the smaller ones, which really sucks. For this, it does need to stick down just a little bit, so we'll probably do a 4x4, which should still line up. Or it needs to stick down just a little bit further than that. So we'll do a 1x4. Does it stick like 3 studs down? Yeah, I think that'll be fine. And then do a 4 coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. Oh no, we can't do that. Switch this over to this way. The unfortunate part of doing it like this is that in order to retain this curve, we gotta do this. Which is going to increase the gap in between those, which I don't like, but at the same time I have to live with. Let's put this on here. And then drop this coming down. Oh wait, a blade needs to go in the center of this. So an 8 down should be fine. And then bringing this up by like 3 should also be fine. Doesn't stick down that far. So we'll have to lessen this to just sticking out a little bit more, not that far. The actual blade will go on the rest of that. Oh yeah. I'm liking the looks of that so far. So for this actual blade, this portion, the thicker portion, I'm going to make 2 studs wide. And then for the blade, I'm thinking about doing like a 1 stud and maybe doing some type of way to get it to actually come to a jagged edge, though I'm not entirely sure how I might be able to do that. So we're just going to have to figure it out as we go along, basically. File, save as. This is the PROG knife, progressive knife, but everyone calls it a PROG knife. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Whoa, what the heck happened? Neon Genesis Evang. We'll just put neg. There we go. And then just do WIP version 1. Like so. NGEVA. Sounds right. Alright. So now that the handle's saved, everything's looking good. So as a base, we can, if we're doing this and we don't like the look of it, we can just stop and then go back to our save as our backup, basically, if we ever need to. So the blade itself looks maybe just as long or maybe slightly longer than the handle itself. We will see. I do want to do this in maybe like a silver metallic color instead of the darker gray, so that it kind of stands out just a little bit. And then doing a, forgot how to use WASD for a second. Doing this, followed by this, and then a 4 and a 2. So that makes like this section, this square section that sticks out there. No problem. So I definitely want to get this little swoopy curve in here because that's a main feature of this knife. Well, I don't know if I would call it a main feature, but it's definitely there on this knife. I believe that this knife was originally based off of like a Bowie knife, and that curve is, I think, a little bit more pronounced in normal Bowies, but I do want it here because it's important. So those 2 vent pieces are going to make up for that, and then this is going to stick out just a little bit, and we're going to figure out together how exactly I'm going to create a knife look to this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 4 is 24, 25 studs long. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 long. 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So we're not going to use all of these, but we're going to use some of them just to get the scale down, because the end of this is going to come to a point, obviously, so we can't have like a hugely thick blade going all the way down, but I do, for now, want to keep it so I know kind of how long things are going to be. I think like right about here, we'll sever this top rib coming along here. And see if we can do something a little bit better than this. Let's delete this out. This is going to be big brain time right here. This is some complicated Lego building that's about to happen, and I hope you guys are ready for it, because I am not. And my brain is going to quit working some of the way through doing this, I bet. And it's going to really suck for y'all, because you're going to have to get stuck watching me try to attempt this without a functioning brain. So this is going to go here. And then we're going to grab that vent piece again, which is going to go here. And then on the top of this, we're going to put these. Yeah, it's really not sharp like that. Not really. Let's find a different way to do this. Oops. I was going to use cheese slopes for this. Maybe delete this and actually drop this down one. Yeah, I think cheese slopes are better in terms of look here. Actually, what we could do is just straight up do a flat piece going down instead. There we go. Because I don't want it to look like it's sharp on that edge, because it's not. Because you're supposed to, a Bowie knife is a utilitarian knife. You're supposed to be able to smash rocks down this to help it like cut through something like a piece of wood or something that you're trying to sharpen. Like I said, it's a utilitarian knife. You're supposed to be able to actually grab this end of the blade without cutting yourself open. A sharp knife. So we would like to keep that kind of look going on here. So that's going to extend out towards the end. For the actual blade portion, I would really like to capture that look, like it's actually supposed to cut something. To do that in a 2-stud wide space is incredibly difficult, and I've been kind of pondering how I was going to do this for most of the day. Yeah, this is definitely difficult. So this piece here actually can't. No, it should be fine, because it's like more like this piece here. Okay, big brain time. We've got this, right? Definitely. Let's delete this out entirely. This piece is going to come straight in, just like this. And then we'll figure that section out later on. For now, let's focus entirely on here. Let's just, for the sake of right now, actually extend this out by 1 stud, just to give us a little bit more thickness and maybe a little bit more room to work with. For this, we gotta have this blade come to some type of angle together. And what I would really like to do is actually use 4x4 pieces kind of turned in on one another so it gets a smooth look, and then angle these appropriately. So we need to then, these pieces here, because we have 2 studs up here that we can attach these to, possibly. So if these were side by side to one another, could we then place something over them like this, maybe? Yes, okay. That's progress in some way, shape, or form. Can't place these over them, but we can we do these? Can we do this? But we can do these. Okay, so if this is all we got to work with, this is all we've got to work with. That's kind of interesting how far away it is, but for the sake of experimenting and trying this, that's okay, I guess. So that'll go there. And then we've got these new Technic pieces that we can put here and here to accomplish our goals of trying to get these to work together in harmony with one another and not be too thick. So does this cover up? So we can't angle this because this is too close to there. Would we be able to possibly move it out further? No. Okay, so oof, gosh, that would be fantastic if that actually does what I needed to do. So we really need to figure out how to do that. Okay. We got this. We can do this. We can do this. So let's delete this out. Let's come back to the drawing board. That's almost exactly what we needed to do. What if we place these back and find something else to slide over top of it to accomplish our goals? I'm thinking that maybe... Okay, so there's only one section that this can actually go on to do this. Okay, alright, so if we actually delete these, we can use something like this in a roundabout way by doing this. So you put both of these together. This is then going to clip in here, just like so. Then we can take and place a 4 smooth lightsaber piece so that nothing gets in the way of anything anywhere up and down this. And then the next piece that we can use is actually this, because it's the smallest one basically, and it would let us do exactly what we needed to do. So now we put this piece back wherever we need it to go. So we can go ahead and put this onto our PROG knife just like this. And now we can adjust this wherever we need it to go, up and down, so that it does what we need it to. So we might need to actually put it on that one for reasons that will become apparent later. And now we should be able to slide this down. There, okay. So actually we'll go ahead and we'll leave it here so that we can actually do this and just figure out how exactly we can fix that later. So now then, this is a closed gap, so this should line up perfectly. There shouldn't be too much collision errors, hopefully. So now we'll put one on this side in the same place, if it would let me. And crap. And then move this down like so. Alright. So now we should be able to angle these pieces. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? Did I? Did I? Did I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. 1, 2, 3. All right. 1, 2, 3. So that is as close as we'll get without destroying LDD because obvious reasons, but that's what we've got so far. So that's an actual like knife edge looking thing going on there. So I'm sorry for all the random zoom in and zoom out. I'm having some mouse troubles kind of. So this is actually going to fit in here now. So this can form part of our blade still. This should come back as, oh, it does. I was being stupid. Sorry. Okay, so now we can continue this pattern on. Is that inside the hole that I think it is? It is. That is a problem, actually. So what we'll do instead is put a 3 to potentially cover this. Will a 4 cover? So a 4 doesn't. So we will in fact use a 3, which is whatever. Call it a day. And then we'll use a 2 on the inside here, because it's going to be covered, to continue on our actual blade itself, which is going to be real nice. So if we put this back and actually select it the way that we need to. Yeah, this is pretty technical. I've thought about doing knives for a little while now because it's different from guns and they're a little bit more challenging. So I've thought about this. Obviously though, this blade would be super thin. This is, you know, still wide for a knife, but it's definitely going to get the point across. You get it because it's a knife. That was a knife joke. For the end out here, there's really not a whole lot of angles that I could go for here. I was thinking about maybe this being more of the angle. I think it might not be. If we take and do something like this. No, it's a lot longer of an angle. I think this is probably our best bet, which I think is the same angle as this. Yeah. So let's actually do this piece, because then we can stick another one up here, and it should actually, hopefully, fingers crossed, fit correctly. So if we take and we put one of these here, like so, we should then also be able to put a hinge piece here and put this here. And then hopefully, please, a 3 should fit here, just like so. And that'd be, ooh, actually, instead of putting it on an angle, we need to switch to doing a straight, like up and down, but getting it appropriately shaped is difficult. So if we actually sit here and figure out where this ends, physically straight. So if we just kind of keep taking this out just a little bit further, and then maybe add 2 more to this. 1, 2. Yes, and then we should be able to add this and this, and then fix that because that's bothering me. Should be able to put this right into place, like so. So now, actually delete this out and switch to doing a 1 by, and then switch to with 2 on opposite sides. Switch back over to here, grab this, place this here, place this here. Just like so, to get the end, and hopefully maybe narrow this down to one another. So now we might, if we just delete this out for the sake of doing it out.
Trying to stop it. Trying to stop it.
Yeah, obviously.
Can you turn the light on? Can you turn the light on?
Yeah.
Are you even on camera?
Nope.
Oh, you're not.
Nope.
So I was moving cautiously for no reason?
Yep. And this piece, oh my gosh, please duplicate. No, it doesn't. Okay, so this is the problem with using these. Nope. Do they make that piece in the other version? And the answer is no. Of course they don't. Which sucks. So maybe we can figure this out, but I doubt it. We need to continue this on that side so that it terminates a little bit more smoothly. Yeah, that's difficult to do. So this was obviously this is the problem with doing this really technical system that I've got going on here, is that this is now incredibly difficult to do the end of, because obviously we can leave this like so, but then the end kind of looks all wonky and not exactly like it should. We just put this back where it goes. And another one should actually fit straight up here at the end. This should fit two right between this. Like I said, the end does not look exactly good. So this is complicated for obvious reasons. Let's delete this out and actually go to our savior here, hopefully. Anyhow, I'm also going to unplug the laptop from power, turn the brightness back up because it automatically adjusts, pick up my phone and my laptop, pick up thy mouse, and move to a more comfortable position, because we can do that, obviously. So I'm going to move back to the back here and get somewhat comfy. Hopefully, anyhow. Sorry for the wind if it's blowing. So I just turned the fan off so that there's no wind blowing back here, hopefully. Bed's a little, it's not exactly the best mouse pad, but it's what we have to work with. And I'm a lot more comfy than what I was, which is hopefully going to promote my brain activity so that we can achieve our goals in this wonderful piece of trash. Because this is going to be incredibly difficult to accomplish and make look right, but we are going to try our hardest to do so, which again is going to be difficult to actually do. So let's actually delete those and replace them with these 4s like we were originally going to do, because now the plan has slightly changed. We would like to get as much shape in this as physically possible. So we'll extend this out to here and then actually delete these more than 2. I was only going to do 2, but it actually needs to delete more than that. And then this needs to go in here. So the way to actually accomplish this, I'm being dumb. Sorry again. I said before at the beginning of this that my brain was at some point going to stop working because this is some incredibly complicated stuff that we're about to do. It looks like it's starting to not work. So we get this little bit of this little divot here, and then we get to the edge of the blade in particular. So if we come out like so, we get this, it gets closer together type of effect. Okay, my mouse is being dumb. It's being really annoying because we're on the bed. Don't have a mouse pad, really need to get a mouse pad. I keep saying that, then I never get a mouse pad. So this comes out like so, and then I would love to actually take this one to come together again and take that another stud out. But I don't think we're going to accomplish that, unfortunately. So take that like so, and then maybe we can figure out a way to take a full thing coming down this way. Not sure. Should be able to fit this just anywhere over here, like so, and then put one of these coming down like so, no big deal. So long as we just kind of come in, cover things up, make them look like they should look, and it'll all hopefully work out as it needs to. So to cover up the kind of gap, because it's kind of noticeable from out here, we're just going to fill in all of these pieces here, and it should help, like I said, just hide this gap a little bit more on the rendering, because no light would be able to get here. It'll kind of close that off so it doesn't look as ugly with shadows, basically. So shouldn't really be too big of a deal with all of this in here. It's also going to be an incredibly complicated knife because, well, you know, obvious reasons why it's an incredibly complicated knife are already presenting themselves. And because of that, I should get a little bit of some bonus points. This is the money shot, as I put it earlier. So, yeah, fun times. So for this end down here, with these together like they are, we should now be able to, because we switched to the other piece, slide maybe, I really wanted to do two of these side by side, but obviously this is so close together now we're not going to be able to accomplish that. Yeah, it's pretty rough. So we can actually use newer pieces now. We could go with the 2 versions of that and have it stick out a little bit more, like so. And then just never look at it from this angle. Oh gosh, it looks bad. I hate it. So take and delete that maybe, because we actually should be able to, okay, I have an idea for me. We should be able to put this here, actually, one with all 4 on it. Where is it? This brick. Should actually be able to put that here. And then do a full-on point and 1 stud. Put this here. Put that there. Put this here. Well, what am I doing? The end of the knife doesn't look like that. Like so. Except we need to carry on this ankle better, so we need to actually switch this to being a 45-degree brick instead. Just like so. There we go. Yeah. Alright, so then for this piece and just put that there, like so. Take and duplicate 1, 2. Please fit. You don't, of course. Jerk. Why? Oh, I see. Okay, well that's a little bit more of a problem. Let's just slap you there. And then maybe we can fix it using this coming out. And then put one of these here. Have it be more implied. And then let's do this back end in some complicated, convoluted way, because of course we are. Let's just put that here, put this here, like so. All right, now we're cooking. Take this down. Because we extended this up by 1 stud, we can do some other stuff coming down here to make this look a lot better. It's way too long. Oh man, I wish we had like one of these, but that other style of piece, because that would be really nice. So what we could actually do is extend this out to like here and place one of these here. Okay, no, that's way too big of an angle. Let's just we'll just close it off. Let's drag this back here and just put this like right there. And put this like right there. That should help with that angle just a little bit. Comes down like so. Put a 6 up here. And then put in the rest of this. So let's fix this area, because this is like the one place that I don't like. Wait, we should actually keep that. So I'm going to have to drag it back out of the brick palette. Let's extend this up another one and figure out exactly what we're going to do about this hellhole of a thing going on up here. So can we just extend this out like so? And still want to get that little drop in. Let's do something maybe more like this. But it's got to be like way out there at the end of the blade. So let's take and continue this out as we go. Okay, of course you don't fit because there's that. So let's just switch to being this, switch that to being that. This should then fit another one straight into that one. Okay. Now we just got to drop a line going from there to there, basically. So in order to do that, we're going to actually delete this piece and replace it with a 3 and a 2, because of course, why keep things simple when we can go hella complicated? Put this piece here, like so, and then put a 2 facing upside down. Wait, that's not a clip. Put a clip facing upside down, and then put like a 6. I think a 6 will fit. We'll do a 7 for the sake of getting it to almost get to the end of the blade. Okay, and then take in, put that there. So we'll actually come in and take and kind of close this off just a little bit if we can. So this piece here, there's nothing under it, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we can put a 4-sided one, and then maybe, just maybe, sneak in a plate. No. Okay. Can we sneak in an ingot? No. Okay. Yeah, it does. It does. I love this portion here, and I like the tip out here, but I don't like what's going on up here. Because there's a... Yeah. Ooh, we could switch this to being curved pieces. Maybe. That'll help it look a little bit more smooth. So let's start over. Let's start over from like right here, going back. Put all this out. Let's figure out how we're going to do the blade on the front. So this is like a curve coming up first, and we've got to use these. So I'm thinking maybe we could do like a 4 and then transition somewhere in there to doing like a 3. So it comes up and then it goes out. But again, these are kind of close together, so we can't do that unless we do something like this. So let's see how this looks. I don't like that. So let's delete these out and maybe we gotta get, okay, let's not even try that, right? Instead, let's take and extend this out a lot. We don't actually have to do it like this, but we will for the sake of doing, just in case we need to come back and add detail later. Let's take and add this all the way out to here. This should theoretically come straight down now and be fine. Yes. See, perfect. All right, now is when we add detail to it to get the point of the blade and everything how we want it. So the first thing that we need to do is get a subtle curve coming up into actually starting the blade going up. So that there should be fine. Just like that, and it starts the curve coming up, right? And then to get the actual jagged edge, the actual sharp point looking thing, we could use 45s going all the way up until they stop there. Finish it with a cheese slope. I don't like the curve down here at the bottom, so let's actually delete that out and instead place one of these here and drag that all in just like so. Alright, and then for the tip, I wonder if it might be better if we use 2s instead of 1s. So if we actually take and do 1, 2, if we do 4 of these, I like that a little bit better. Alright, and then on this top section here, which is supposed to be this, the reinforcement rib kind of thing, we then narrow down here-ish as we go. So we can actually delete these. Okay, don't mean to duplicate that. Let's duplicate that. Place an 8 here. Sorry, I had a mosquito crawling on me. I had to kill him. Put this here. So this is the top section, right? This little, because I don't want it to look too big and on the top. I want it to be this nice, smooth transition of blade and steel. So here, then we can take and place a 1 and the 1, just like so. And now we do the shaping for the rest of the blade, theoretically. Hopefully, anyhow. Because this is where things get a lot more complicated. So let's fill in the rest of this so that when we render it, the shadow looks nice and not horrible. There's actual substance to the backside of this and not just air, basically. It also helps to hold all these pieces together. Though if we really wanted to do that, we'd put Technic pins through most of these to reinforce it, make things a lot stronger. Then we're going to delete these and replace them with maybe these. So that's the whole reason that we had that ratio already predetermined set up, basically, so that we would be able to use these as we needed them. What am I doing? That is not how that works. So now, for this, we need to kind of get this this little start going in to the blade itself. So if we actually take and delete that one, and instead replace it with one of these, that's going to start the process. Let's actually delete that and delete both of those. Ooh, that potentially causes a problem. We will see. So that's the first, this section here. And it's going to stick out just a little bit, and then there's going to be another section that drops it
further. Now this should stick like way out here, basically. Let's put this here. Let's put this one here. And then start kind of the idea of this by using this. Just kind of assist in this transitioning and whatnot that's going on here, because this is kind of complicated. So this should stick out nice and straight, and it should actually pass the end of these before it does its job. So you can see that there's a little bit of a flap, but it just sticks out past the end of that. And then it should also drop to a point, basically. So we need to grab one of these, the longest of them, and that also matches this angle. Ooh, actually, this can come in like so. No, let's bring it in only by like a little bit, and just put this out by like one more, and then put this piece. See, and it doesn't look right because this is this constant curve going on here. So again, we'll go back to doing a custom curve by using these pieces. And again, we'll flip this upside down so we get this nice clean look to it. Ooh, please. This should come down relatively close to the end. I like that. Should be okay. Just like so. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll fill in the rest of this blade, hopefully, and be done with it. Maybe? We'll see exactly how it looks. And then I'm going to do something going on up here to hopefully get this to look correct. We should actually do that now instead of later. Alright, so this should be 2 followed by one of you, like here, basically. And then I was going to take in the back of the blade needs more of a curve, like up here, like this. So here, we'll split this into sections. So this section is going to be the red side, and this section is going to be the point side. And then the middle section will designate as a single point, and the point here will be the 1 by 1. So whichever area, so more of a curve at the red area back here, more of a curve at the point area, or more of the curve here. Okay, so you're talking about like this little right here, coming up just a little bit more, so that it's higher. Yeah, I'll agree with you. Let's we'll finish off the detailing on this blade real quick, and then we'll get right on that. So you can see that down here, this is pretty much one stud, so that's pretty cool. But this is complicated as always, because it's always complicated. It can never be easy. And hopefully this kind of just helps with transitions, and it looks better than just being this basic thing going on. But we actually need to extend a little bit more of that curve on the back of where you're talking about, because then that's going to judge how we fill in this gap up here, because it should affect, so, well, I guess it'll only really affect back here, kind of. Alright, so let's find a new piece to use here. And it's more of a curve, it's not like a straight angle, which complicates things, obviously, because now we have to actually find an arch piece that will fit there and achieve the purposes we need. Oh, excuse me, slight yawn. I really wish that they would make these pieces in the other direction, but of course they didn't refuse. It's really annoying, like in a concave instead of a concave. See the difference? Concave? Convex? One of those two. I don't know. My brain's not working. Oh man. Oh gosh. Yeah. Now we gotta scroll through pieces till we find something that we could use. Oh gosh, why does it have to be so difficult? I wonder if we let's delete this out real quick. Wait, let's not delete that out. Let's take and move it out of the way, in fact. There we go. Let's amp this up by another stud layer. So you can put this here. Delete this. Replace it with maybe one of these. And then maybe 4? No, because it should be a little bit further away, so let's delete that and actually put it like up here, like so. And then, man, I really wish this would stick out just a little bit. So can we maybe do some tomfoolery here to accomplish this goal? I think that answers that question. So it definitely sticks out more, but it's probably a little too sharp almost, but I kind of like this small subtle curve actually made by these cheese slopes down here. So I think for now we'll leave that. And then up here, what we'll do instead is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Just delete that out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So this isn't actually going to fit perfectly there. So we'll start here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then we'll just put one of these going like up this direction. And then just take like an 8 and put it like right there. And then we have this little bit coming down like so. Alright, so now let's fill in this gap as best as we can. Hopefully if we put like a 2 here, we could then put like maybe this here. Yeah. Crap. No, because then this isn't actually connected. Aha. We can cheat. Flip these around. Perfect. Yeah. Just really trying. Just trying to get this done and looking appropriate for what it is. And maybe doing like a 1 there with maybe like a cheese slope. Ah, of course. You don't want to fit. Okay, so maybe if we just come down and do like this and follow it up with a 1. Fine. Yeah, that should be fine. I'm doing the progressive knife from Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is, I think this is the first knife that I've made that's not following instructions. It's file, save as, version number 2. Because I've made knives before, just usually using people's instructions, like my different username, a couple other people. But this is my first like one that I've done alone. And this has been incredibly difficult, but it kind of does what I want it to do. Which is, I really wanted to experiment with a different type of blade going on here to really try to get this to do what I wanted it to do. So this involved angling pieces in a very, very difficult fashion. But I think it may have worked out for the best. Oh yeah, classic anime. One of the bests. Pellet rifle next. Seems so simple though. I think what's interesting is how little this series actually. What? I like how this says Psycho-Pass movie in Japan. Got this booklet, and then this is Evangelion. It's not even Psycho-Pass. Psycho-Pass was great, but man. I think what's interesting about the series is as much as the series is about people basically almost dying to just weird hybrid mechanical organic creatures, they don't fight all too much. Right? It's kind of, it's kind of weird but cool at the same time. Okay. Mouse, thank you for ruining that. Like, they fight, but just not, most of an episode is not fighting for some of it. You actually see, if we open image in new tab, in the middle of these, all of these weapons, down here is the 2 progressive knives. And then I want to say that these are other versions of the progressive knife right here, where the actual blade comes out of the handle instead of being here. I don't know, man. My favorite angel? That's a difficult one. There's quite a few different angels. Of course, I should have known that not all of them were going to be shown when we Google search this. I think a good close to one of my favorites will probably be Ramiel, simply because this was in like a super roundabout way an interesting episode in particular, simply because of how they wanted to combat this thing. You can't get close to it because it just instantly vaporizes you with its energy beam. It's got a pretty good AT field up, so you can't take that down. And then their idea was, okay, well, we'll snipe it from a super long distance away before it knows that we're about to hit it, so it doesn't know what's coming. And then you kind of see in this episode that even at a long distance, the second they added all the power into the rifle, that it started to react to everything, which I thought was particularly interesting because it shows that they have this, I don't want to call it like a sixth sense, but they have the ability to feel in some type of way. Maybe they have some type of scanner or something on them, where even at a super long distance, they would be able to detect some type of threat going on. I already know what the Star ACR is. I'm not too concerned about looking for that, because we can just literally look up pellet rifle. I don't know if I even want to build the pellet rifle. See you later, nobody in particular. This is like, I might, because like I said, Neon Genesis Evangelion is a super classic anime. Like, come on. If you're watching anime, you've had to at least see this once. Hey, man, happy birthday. Really, really want you to have a good birthday, so good luck with that, man. Speaking of that episode, though, here's the actual... I wonder if this is concept art, or maybe someone drew it or something. This thing is super futuristic looking, pretty cool. I like the concept and idea, but for now, this is what we've got. So we'll take a look into maybe doing it some other time. So that's all I've got. We've been going for a while. I think we can end it here. So thank you guys. See you later. Thanks so much for watching.